I don't even know what to say anymore. In tears. I don't hate anything more than Arsenal. And what's the score? 3-0. Poch is a shit manager. What is he even trying to accomplish here? Sack him by tomorrow. This performance is atrocious. Where are the tactics? Pass it round the back, waste every attacking chance. I'd rather have my dead granddad in the dugout before this geezer. Fuck's sake. Don't even get me started on disaster. And that twat, Badiashile, what are you doing there passing it to Gallagher? And for the love of God, as I'm writing this, it's 4-0. I'm tired of this. I genuinely am. I'm going to lock myself in my room and not do anything today or tomorrow. I'm done with this BS. God, I'm not your strongest soldier. Please stop. Did it have to be Havertz twice? I'm not watching. Turn the TV off at 3-0, but I'm willing to bet it was a defensive mistake. No shots on target. What do we, Jackson? For fuck's sake. We'd be relegated if it wasn't for Palmer. Too bad he's out. Also, what the fuck is up with the medical team? I think 2 times this season we've had a full injured 11. I don't have the strength to even look at the TV. The 27th, I can't bring myself to torture myself with another 90 minutes of eye bleach. 5-0. How wonderful, huh? How wonderful indeed. Welcome to the Grove Podcast. I am in a fabulous mood. Hopefully my guests are too. Tabs, how are you today?
Yeah, great. I feel fantastic. I was going to do that I feel fantastic thing if I couldn't, but yeah, I feel absolutely amazing. So buzzing.
Good. And Kazila, great to have you on. Loving the background as well today. How are you today?
I'm feeling amazing and my voice is gone. Feeling good.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
What a result. What a performance. I cannot wait to discuss and dissect and get into this with you guys. But let's start with the usual. How are we feeling today about the game and the result? And if you don't mind, guys, I'd love to go first again. That Chelsea fan that I just read out, that summed it up for me this morning when I seen that. Whale, if that's your real name, thank you so much for that into the Grove. It just summed up how good a performance that was, and I feel better today than I did last night after watching the game. Just waking up this morning and knowing that we've beat them 5-0, we put them in their place. That was amazing, and it wasn't just the result itself, but the way we played. So that's my point. Tabs, what about yourself? How did you feel?
No, as I said, I feel fantastic. Look, I'm not going to get carried away. Look, I know Chelsea were rubbish, and we've been here before, putting a ton of goals past inferior teams. But everything about last night was brilliant. Okay, I mean, granted, the first half could have ended a bit differently, but even the fact that Chelsea couldn't even score was funny. You know, the fact they had those chances, that was hilarious. And this is why we keep coming back. You know, this is why we love football. And even if we don't win the Prem, you've got to be able to enjoy nights like this. The atmosphere, our performance, humiliating a despicable rival. It was just superb. And after the game, I messaged my brother-in-law, and we don't communicate much, but he's a Chelsea fan, unfortunately. And it seems to be my wife's family are Chelsea fans. And I just said, yeah, that was a lot of fun. And he goes, there's no point in gloating if you don't win the league again. And I replied, yeah, there is. Yeah, you've got to enjoy this. Yeah, we got the points, which is the most important. We padded out the goal difference and top it all off with relative ease, actually. You know, they were in form and paper dangerous, but we embarrassed them. We played some really good football and we got our biggest win against Chelsea. And, you know, what's not to enjoy against that? And especially, I think I said it on the last pod, I despise Chelsea more than any other club, and I wanted this so bad. And I loved it. They're nothing but a mid-table, no mark of a club that just got lucky and got into bed with some dodgy, stupid rich people. But they'll never have what we have, or the likes of Liverpool or likes of Man United. And so that's just fun. The fact that we can do this, put them in their place, humiliate them, long may continue. Love it.
Kazima, can you top that? How are you feeling today?
I mean, I can't top that, honestly. I feel the same way as both of you guys. It was an amazing evening, honestly. It's just so good beating Chelsea the way we beat them. And just like Tabs, my brother-in-law also supports Chelsea. And I sent him a picture of the score when it was 4-0. Then 5 minutes after that, I was like, oh, sorry, wrong picture. And then I sent the 5-0. So that was just brilliant. Honestly, that was just brilliant. But yeah, I can't top what Tab said. He summarized all our feelings perfectly.
It's going to be hard to find a low light, but we always do the highlight and low light. So I guess we need to find one. So my highlight was Kai Havertz. It was so funny seeing the hate he was getting in various group chats, and on Twitter there was a couple of prominent Arsenal Twitter accounts who were slating him after the first half. And look, Whale made a very good point. Kai Havertz was not brought in to be that all singing, all dancing goal scorer, right? That we all expect him to be. He's there for other means. I don't think Arteta wanted him to be that person, but to take those 2 chances away he did under the pressure you would have been on against your old club, especially after missing a couple of chances in the first half and maybe potentially getting a couple of assists or goals, was unbelievable. So that was the highlight for me. There was many highlights, but if I had to choose one, it would be that. The low light was not avenging Mikel Arteta's dad, Arsene Wenger, and getting the 6 goals against Chelsea and really rubbing salt in their wounds. That was the low light. And I guess Gabriel Martinelli potentially is to blame for that. He had a couple of glorious chances, which I'm sure we'll discuss. So that was a low light. But God, I'm still smiling. And I've been smiling all day. Kaziva, what was your highlight and low light from the game yesterday?
So my highlights was the clean sheet. I just like it when we come through, we seem disciplined. And obviously before before the Wolves game, we had conceded 5 goals in 3 games. So clean sheet against Wolves and then another clean sheet tonight against Chelsea. And we shouldn't be kind to Chelsea and say, oh no, they had injuries. Guys, we had injuries when we lost to United a couple of years ago. No one talks about the injuries. Everyone talks about the score. So yeah, my highlights was the clean sheet. And then my low light was Mads spilling beer on my sneakers while we're celebrating at the Oratio. So yeah, that was my low light. Mads, I still love you, bro. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think it's a rite of passage at the Horatio. If you don't get a drink spilled over you, it's happened to the best of us before. I remember I've got visions of me being pre-match, being under the hand dryer in the bathroom, trying to dry my trousers. It's not pretty, not a pretty sight.
No, especially when you're not wearing them at the time. So there we go.
Very good point. You don't want to see my lucky Arsenal underwear. So I was getting. What was your highlight and low light?
I'm going to start with my low light. It's what could have been that midfield yesterday. Partey, Odegaard, and Rice. The only time they've started and played before, I think, was the Community Shield at the beginning of the season. We've done fantastically well without Partey being there in that midfield, and credit to Jorginho and everyone else who stepped in. But if we'd have had them for the whole season, or even 2/3 or a third of the season, I think we'd be long gone. There's it, and that is such a shame. It was brilliant to see, and better late than never, hopefully. But that was my sort of like a bit of a regret, shall we say? I mean, and I was with you on the Nelly miss and not getting six as well. In terms of the highlights, there were so many, and as you're saying on the Havertz goal, that pass by Odegaard, oh my God. And then the fact that he celebrates as well. I love the fact he celebrated and screw all this, whatever, fuck them. But my biggest highlight was us olaying Chelsea passing.
Oh my God, that is brilliant. That was brilliant.
So funny. I mean, thankfully they didn't get anything from it, but even I think if they scored, I think we would have cheered. But how humiliating as a player, you're getting olayed by the away fan. What do you do? You think, fuck it, I need to kick it out. Oh my God, that was.
Do you remember at that point, Enzo Fernandez had the ball when we were olaying, and he did this thing where he rolled the ball under his foot a few times, and it got the biggest cheer of the night. Yeah. They were like, you're 5-0 down. You're trying to do a skill. Like, what are you playing at? That was amazing. The commentators on
brilliant
BT Sport, the commentators did allude to that as well, saying how embarrassing it was for Chelsea to be getting olayed by the home fans. Oh, that was amazing. The other really funny thing as well from yesterday, just speaking of embarrassing moments, is the Chelsea fan with the inflatable Champions League trophy.
Yeah, well, that's all they've got.
And then, I don't know if you've seen the video afterwards, though, when the Arsenal fan stole it off him and then stamped on it and it burst. So,
I mean, they have got it, and fair enough. Whether they got it through fair means or foul, they've got it. So fair enough, they got that over us. But I don't give a shit. You know, this is just glorious. They can have it the way they want it. I'd rather win it our way.
Exactly, and we've got the guy that won them it anyway. So
yeah, exactly. There you go. Oh, that's just a dagger through the heart. It's so funny. Their reaction to have it scoring online and just like hating it. Love
you see that Chelsea refused to name Harris, and they put White scores, then goal for Arsenal, White scores, and then someone tweeted it, someone quoted it saying Chelsea only recognise White, which I thought was really, really
some brand of Chelsea.
Oh my word! Yeah, that sums it all up. As I said, odious, horrible clown car of a club. Just could not happen to a nicer bunch. This is so funny.
In terms of you, so you've kind of mentioned it, Tabs, the lineup. I was so happy to see Partey, and I don't know if you guys, being at the game, I don't know if you ever, like on the way home, read back the Grove messages in the group chat, but I was just writing. I was waxing lyrical about Thomas Partey, and I've got some notes. And one of the first notes, in fact, the first note I made was Partey, great start. And he just set the tone. I mean, he was here, there, and everywhere. He was, honestly, if we hadn't scored 5 goals and if Martin Odegaard wasn't this, I think I'm genuinely in love with Martin Odegaard.
I think we all are. We all are. I wrote that in the notes. I think I'm in love.
No, but you don't understand. I think this goes beyond football. Like, I think I love him.
Well, you're the one with all the videos of his feet getting rubbed, so there we go.
I would pay crazy. I would give up my Everton ticket to rub his feet just one time this year.
And that's the great podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
What I'm trying to say though is Thomas Partey was just sublime, and if it wasn't for Odegaard's performance, I really think Partey would have had even more flowers than what he's getting today, right?
Yeah.
And it just, your low light was kind of, what could have been. But even for me, it's just what could have been against Villa if we had played that midfield and tinker with the team and play Havertz up top. And Trossard was, it was just, the lineup was perfect. I think every single, perfect maybe because we won 5-0 and we dominated them from start to finish. But I still think even the subs did their job and just the players just seemed to be on it. And the one question I have for you guys, because Eve, I'll start with you, is the atmosphere on. I've not watched many games on TV because I'm always obviously at the Emirates, but the games I have seen on TV, I've never had to turn down the volume before. I have this OCD thing where my TV volume's always on 20, and yesterday I had to turn it down because the crowd were just. It was from North London forever all the way through the game. It wasn't even there was no moments of you could really hear much. Was it like that in the stadium as well? Did you guys feel a real difference?
I mean, I don't know if I felt an overarching difference, but I did say to you guys, I was sitting next to someone in the lower tier who was starting all the chants. So to me, it just felt like it was loud the entire game because he would start a chant. He was by himself for a good minute and they were like, okay, cool, let's go in. But the energy coming from the fans going onto the field was a bit different, but I guess because we were always singing on our side, it just felt like it was hot,
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
The upper tier. I was in the upper tier. I said I had fantastic seats, and normally upper tier is a bit harder for the singing bit, but I actually came home hoarse, which is the first time. Normally that comes in the lower tier, but upper tier, even the upper tier was loud singing, and I think it just comes from beating Chelsea. I think they are most people's number one hated club with Arsenal, what they've done, who they are, even more so than Tottenham. Tottenham are just sort of more of an irritating neighbour rather than pure hatred against a club like Chelsea. So the fact they were humiliating, the fact they were playing well, the fact that it was funny. Yeah, I've never seen so many people laugh so much at a football match before. It was just like hilarious. And yeah, you're right. And then the players could feel that. And yeah, it was just very good vibes. And it was was maybe a bit of light relief. I would suggest on the 10th. You know, we had the week with Villa and Bayern, and even Wolves was a struggle. So I think that was just they brought a lightness, a bit of light relief, and just like, okay, you know, everyone. Again, I think a bit coming back to, okay, it's not in our hands. So let's just enjoy this. Let's see what happens. We're playing well. We move on to the next game. But it just brought a bit of lightness to where we've been over the last week, and you could just sense that. Whereas leading up to this, people are still thinking, "Oh, it's over, whatever." At least this means it still may be over. But bloody hell, we had a great fun, you know.
Yeah,
and
no, that's true. And I'm glad that you felt that, Mose. I'm glad that you guys felt from home that shit. This is actually very different, because imagine if you guys are feeling that, and the players now start feeling that, right? It was a perfect night. Besides me mad spilling beer on my shoes.
I think what really made it one of those special nights, almost under the lights of the Emirates, was the way we were playing. Just seemed different. There was a few moments where Caicedo slipped when Thomas Partey dummied it, for example. That gets the crowd going. And I was saying to a friend earlier on the phone, who didn't watch the game, he was working, but I was just saying to him, look, we were passing triangles around Chelsea like they were an under-15s team that we were just training against. There was moments of play where we were doing things that I've not seen us do in a long time, and Odegaard's feet and Rice and Trossard, their quick feet was just unbelievable. I just want to go through the whole, so Tabs, you've wrote loads of notes. I just want to go through all these notes, but the one thing I want to say first is scroll right down to the bottom to the predictions first, please.
You got it wrong. You keep saying we all predicted you would win. Did you predict 5-0?
I'll explain why I predicted 5-0. If you scroll down to the bottom, I clearly say 4-1. Yeah. I meant 4 goals in the second half and 1 goal in the first.
Such a man, you are just ridiculous.
Look,
I predicted the clean sheet. There we go. And I can. Oh, that was my halftime score. Sorry, 1-0. And look, and Jamie predicted the amount of goals. You know,
I just felt before Wolves, I just felt there was a game coming up where we would score a lot of goals, and I didn't realize it would be Chelsea. I thought potentially it would be Wolves. It just felt like that. But let's just go through the game and talk about it in chronological order if we can. But Tabs, the one thing you wrote here is, by the way, I hate those iridescent badges. So annoying. You really hate Chelsea, like really.
No,
really.
but you're just watching this game and this little glint of light. And what was the point? I don't get it. But it was just you just see this annoying flash of just light bouncing off, and it's like they're playing Laser Quest or something stupid like that. I don't know, but it's like and yes, you're right. Anything about them, I'll dislike. It's fine.
In the see Tabs' face right now, you can see the hate in his face. He genuinely despises and loves Chelsea. It's brilliant.
I gotta stretch out and crap.
Like you've got, it's like you've just been told you've got scabies from your cotton baby. You're just kind of like, all jittery and.
I bet you I'm not the only one that will be thinking that about those.
No, I agree.
Anyway, so first half. Let's talk about the first half. So it was a lot different on TV. I think there was a few friends who were kind of tweeting or writing about the game in various group chats that it seemed like we were under control for all the first half. And Jermaine, who listens to the pod, messaged us kind of at halftime saying, "Oh, I hope we don't rue these missed chances." But from me watching on TV, I was just like, "No, we're under control. It's 1-0. We've not really let them in much, apart from." And one thing I wrote in the notes was their crossing. Every time they were crossing the ball, it just seemed to be like, "Oh my God, they're about to," and they could have. But there was a couple of chances. But let's talk about the first thing that really happened.
But just on that point, I think he had an element. So if you look at the stats, they had 58 possession versus 42% in the first half. So they had a lot of the ball. Okay, if they're not doing anything with it, fine. Or maybe we did that deliberately, stood off them a bit. And yes, you're right. But yeah, in terms of, they had 5 shots, but none on target. A couple of big chances, but yeah. So I can see, yes, we were in control, but I still could tell why it was a bit on a knife edge, because we'll talk about it. There were a couple of chances where, had someone made a bit more of an effort, or or being able to be, 1 yard further forward, there were chances to equalise, but nothing big. It was just a sense. And then that's our nervousness again. We're there. We're 1-0 up. At least we had the cushion, but we're still like, oh, you're right. I was also thinking, these guys are here for the taking. We need to put them to task, and we just didn't do it in the first half.
In the interest of time, there's loads to talk about, so I'll just cycle between you guys, right? And I'll ask you guys if you remember anything about it. And Kaziva, I know you're still reeling from your shoes being soaked, but that has not made it into this part, so you don't have to mention it for a third time. Your dad is now pausing the podcast to spite him and get skipped.
Do we need to do a fundraiser to get them cleaned?
You might have to.
The first main talking point of the game came right at the start. First minute, Kai Havertz was through from a Ben White pass, and I've just wrote here he was millimetres away from potentially getting a red card for the Chelsea player and a penalty. It was just offside, very, very close. Would it have been a penalty? Looking back at it this morning, I don't think it was. I think the contact kind of started outside the box and then continued into the box. But that just set the tone for how we were going to play. And then from that, Trossard goes and scores an amazing goal. I've just put Declan bloody Rice. It was just that run. It was almost like Patrick Vieira-esque. The run through the defence, splitting them. And then, it was pandemonium. Kaziva, what were your thoughts on that goal? And did you see it coming as quickly as what I maybe did watching the game on TV? Did you guys feel it was coming?
I didn't see it coming as quick as it did. When I saw him on the ball and then running down the flank, I did expect him to shoot. And because he's our best finisher, I expected him to score. Rice coming through was just, another reason why it's so great having Partey in the team. We have a mobile number 8 who can come through and drive things going forward. And that was just amazing to see. There are a few chances that Rice also had because of his positioning and where he was. But the first goal, it was a surprise how quickly it happened. But when I saw Trossard on the ball, I was like, this could come through. And the celebration started in 4 minutes.
Do you think the goalie could have done anything different or do better? Because they beat him at the near post, and the commentators kept saying about the goalie not doing good enough.
Your goalkeepers always, any goal near post, goalkeepers, you think the goalkeeper's to blame, but it's the fact that he controlled it first time, shot first time,
exactly.
Didn't let him get his set low. It's so hard that the hardest place for a goalkeeper to get is, unless they can move their feet, is literally down by their feet, because they cannot get their hand down quick enough to do the ball. And it was hit so hard, so quickly. And that's what I really liked about that goal. And that's what I like about Trossard. He doesn't look for that perfect moment.
No.
Get the ball hit, like the goal against Wolves. If that was Martinelli potentially or Jesus, they try and sit someone down or try and wait for that perfect opportunity. No. Feet, control, bang, great balance, great shot. So, it wouldn't want anyone else in that position. That was fantastic.
I just think it was... and we've said it before, and I'll say it again, I think Trossard is the best. If you had 100 shots from every single person in the Arsenal team, Trossard would hit the target the most times.
Absolutely.
He is just sublime. It was a great start, and then just a few minutes later after that, I feel like Chelsea should have had a red card. I feel like VAR should have intervened or should have at least sent the ref to the monitor. The replays are horrible when you watch that again. So it was Nicholas Jackson on Tomiyasu. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys remember, Chelsea played against Spurs not long ago, and the VAR was released for this when it was either Chelsea or Spurs had a penalty or there was a red card for exactly the same tackle on one of the players. And it even shows you that, was it Trossard was booked for something quite similar but not as bad towards the end of the first half.
Yeah.
So that really, really annoyed me. And on first glance, I didn't see what had happened. So when they showed the replay, and then on Twitter, when the slow motion replays and different angles came out, I just thought, wow, that was it. And it could have been an ankle breaker.
He wasn't even carded for it. He got nothing for it. Yeah.
You can see his ankle. You can see his ankle kind of almost bend, and you think, wow, that is so close. And like you say, Tab, not even a yellow card. I was fizzing.
I'd like to know what they're looking at. If so, VAR has to be looking at that because it stopped. He was being. They have to be. What? So they have to. What are they looking at? What is that? I don't know. Is there some sort of new edict? It happened against Wolves, which should have had a red. Happened here. Is there some sort of change in the rule that the thresholds got higher? But that's an ankle breaker. It was high. It was even worse than the one against Wolves. That was just high, unnecessary. Yeah, I don't get it. Maybe though, looking on the positive side, they wouldn't have been so open and shit had they had to defend with 10 men. So maybe it was a lucky break, and it's better to beat them with 11 men than we did. Maybe if they had one man sent off, they would have sat back and it may have been harder for us. So I'm going to look on the positive side on this, and I think it was, and the fact that Tomiyasu obviously still played on and all the rest of it. He got away with it. Lucky, that's twice. You're right. It should be a red. Fortunately, it didn't have an impact on the game.
So I didn't see it until after the game when I was walking towards the bar, and I just couldn't believe it. I genuinely couldn't believe that he walked away without a card even. So yeah, it is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. As you said, at least Tommy stayed fit, and he wasn't taken off, and that's the biggest win, I guess, out of all of that. Besides us winning 5-0, we know Tommy gets injured quite often, so seeing him finish the game or play as long as he did was the positive.
I think, Tabs, when you say about is it a new edict or whatever, I don't think it is. I just think the referees thought, and I can kind of see where they're coming from. Tomiyasu's foot was it was almost like they thought, okay, it's not a 50-50, but it's like a 70-30, and I don't think it was like there was no malice intended, but it's still a bad tackle. You don't have to have malice to obviously to do that. So right, let's move on to kind of more pertinent chances. So I mentioned there was a couple of crosses from Chelsea, and the only one really of note was so I wrote here that the 15 minutes into the game, Conor Gallagher crosses it into Noni Madueke, but he couldn't connect. But Odegaard should have had a free kick before that. And at that point, I was thinking there was fouls going on. The referee had to really get control of the game. But then it didn't really matter because the goal that we scored, the Havertz goal, the first Havertz goal we scored, should have been a foul on Chelsea. So it kind of evened out. And even Ali McCoy, who I hate with a passion, and I cannot stand it. And he is, if Chelsea are a clown car of a club, then he's a clown car of a commentator. He's an absolute idiot.
I quite like him.
It puts all of Scotland to shame. Honestly, I hate him. And if you're listening, Ali McCoy, just turn it off now. We don't want you listening to it.
Oh, sorry, Ali. Sorry.
But what he said was, it's a foul all day, but potentially the referee's levelling up over the Jackson and, mistake and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the next kind of major thing for me was Nicholas Jackson and William Saliba and their battle. I feel like Jackson was getting the better of Saliba in the first half, and it felt like Jackson's got a lot of pace, but he just cannot finish his dinner, can he? He just finish.
That's what Chelsea had. They got pace, and if you've got pace, you can be dangerous. But they've got no end product. We can see that, and Saliba sometimes gets troubled with pace, and so that's fine. But I think we recovered well. Gabriel got in there, and I looked at he tried to pass it deflected, near post, hit the post. I don't know if Raya had it covered or not, but Chelsea have pace, but look at Mudryk, he's 100-meter sprinter, but if he can't trap a sack of cement, then he's a waste of space as far as I'm concerned. So it wasn't too much of a concern because as soon as they got the ball, they slow down, they're looking down their feet, trying to get some sort of balance. So we normally get back into position. So bit of danger, but there wasn't that sort of they should have scored moment. Even with a couple of the crosses, even though I think Madueke, he wasn't far from reaching it, but he didn't look like he was making that much effort to reach it either. It was so half-hearted, and the same with the Badashiri effort and stuff like that. So I think half chances, bit of there, but I don't think Chelsea really were trying that hard either.
So while Nicholas Jackson and Saliba were fighting, I also noticed a big battle between Madueke and Tommy. Tommy was good. He had a good game, but I felt like Madueke did stress him out quite a bit. A lot of the chances came through that side. So I'm glad that we didn't concede anything through any of those crosses, but that was a little bit worrying. I mean, again, that's why I'm happy about the clean sheet. That's why it's my highlight, because it could have been different.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
The one major kind of concern was, not a concern, I guess, but Bukayo Saka was quite quiet yesterday and had potentially, when you score 5 goals and you look at the scorers, the first thing you would do is maybe expect to see Saka on the score sheet. But the one thing that I noticed in the first half was he just seemed like he wasn't his usual self. And there was a chance kind of halfway through the first half where he was under no pressure at all. The ball came to him and he passed back towards Raya and the ball went fizzing out for a corner. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, it wasn't worrying as such, but I just felt like that's not Saka. And I don't know whether he was just not thinking or whatever, but then as a result from that corner, Badiashile almost scored and Disasi almost got onto the end of the Badiashile chance. So it could have well resulted in a goal, and that's a different story. It was just like unfortunate, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think Cucurella, I call him Cucaracha, cockroach in Spanish. I think Jesus Christ, him and Chelsea are made for each other. No, actually, I can't remember what to call him now. Cucurella normally actually plays quite well against Saka, and you could. I was watching it; he was on him very quick. Very often, didn't give him much space. But then eventually, I think Saka was getting the better of him, and especially when he had the card. So and then Saka also got an assist in the second half. He had a couple of shots. He was involved here. I think we were talking in the chat. He had a lot of pre-assists, so he was involved in a lot of the good stuff. He would be him, Odegaard, and White, especially second half, were creating a lot down that right-hand side, the triangles, as Moz said at the beginning. And he may not have had the final pass, but he was like the pass to Odegaard, who then passed it in. So he was. I think he did fine. I think he looked good as far as concerned. Yeah, everyone has a mistake. I think he also did it. Didn't he do it at the beginning of the season against Fulham or something? I can't remember which game it was, but so yeah, I wasn't too concerned about him. And look, if other people are scoring, great. He'll get his goal when it matters.
Yeah, and I'm not. Look, I was just alluding to the fact that potentially he was maybe unwell or something, and then second half he's taking a lem sip and he's back and he's fine. In terms of the second half, then the second half that blew Chelsea away, and when you look at the stats from the second half, it was pretty much one-sided, wasn't it? We restricted. So our second half against Chelsea felt like the second half we had against Bayern Munich, but the roles were reversed. So Chelsea only had 2 shots. They never really had any chances of note apart from Nicholas Jackson, who, oh my God, like, what are you doing? Hit it across goal and score. You've got an open goal and you hit the side netting. It was just
so bad.
Even David Raya, I don't know if you guys seen in the in-game footage, when they showed the replay, David Raya looked back to the Arsenal fans and just laughed, like kind of like just covered his mouth and laughed because he was just like, "Oh my God, what is he doing?" But before that, obviously, we went, we scored 2 goals, and Jermaine's worries were all but resolved. We took our chances, and it wasn't a game to be worried about. So the first one was the Ben White from the corner, and I don't know if you guys seen in real time what Cucurella and White were up to, and Cucurella fell to the ground, and there's a picture going around that Ben White's just looking down at him whilst he's on the floor, and he's just looking down at him like, "Mate, seriously, get up!" And then after that, obviously Ben White scores. There's a picture there Tabs is showing on his.
I've now made it my phone wallpaper. Ben White just looking down on Cucurella with such disdain, like just like a piece of turd on his shoe or something like that. It's just like,
or he's looking at Cucurella like how Kaziva looked at Mads when his drink was spilled on his shoe.
There's disgust on that. But actually, the goal, the corner that we had to that was like, it stemmed from another attack, and the Odegaard pass, the slide rule pass, giving everyone the eyes to find Havertz. Now it was a good save. What a pass! But I heard it on another pod today, I think, or somewhere, like, yeah. Or I know it was Perry Groves on the commentary. It was like, I think all the Arsenal fans looked the wrong way, and Odegaard passed it. He fooled everyone in that stadium with such a beautiful pass, and it was a shame that I didn't make it 2-0. But I think Ben White scoring, I don't think it would happen to a more popular guy in the stadium. I think everyone loved the fact that he scores. We know how much effort he puts in. We know how well valuable it is to the team. And it was important because after that goal, Chelsea were gone 2-0. They weren't coming back. They were gone, and we needed to get that goal. And then after that, the floodgates open. But it was a really important goal. Good time. But with Rice had a shot beforehand, he had the Havertz chance. And I think, Moz, this one I will give you credit for, because you did say it's coming. And literally we scored like a few seconds later. I
don't know what it is, but I just felt it just felt that that tension was building. We were on top, dominating, and then it just like a goal was coming. And I think it almost did before from that Odegaard pass, and then it did from the corner. Yeah. The one thing I would say as well about that, about the Ben White goal, is that the corner kick routine just seemed so rehearsed.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys felt that as well in the stadium, but it just felt.
Well, I don't know, but my son pointed something out, and I haven't seen all the other corners, but he said all 11 of the Chelsea players were back in the box, but not just in the box. They're sort of from the penalty spot to the goal line was all the Chelsea players, and so no one went out for the short corner, and there was Rice who took the shot that then Partey or whatever deflected to, and there was 3 Arsenal players just completely unmarked on the edge of the box. It's like, what sort of, sorry, do these guys get coached or have they been played football before? It'd be like, if I'm playing, or even my son's playing, hey, there's a short corner, someone go out to the short corner. Yeah, this is just sums up Chelsea again. Well, you do it. No, you do it. Well, fuck off. I'm not doing it. And then, by the way, Rice, he can shoot, should we get someone a bit closer to him? Well, I'm not going to. It's like, it was just terrible. And he was saying all their corners, they were just badly marked. They just did that. So yeah, I think if we're saying, if we've got the opportunity, right, short corner, bang, let's do something different. And well, we got the goal from it.
I think Gianluca should get a job with BT Sport, or maybe he was watching BT Sport while I was watching the game as well, because this is exactly what they said at full time in the post match. So Joe Cole, who's so small, by the way, like putting him up against
the wee man,
Rio Ferdinand and Martin Keown, and it's just Joe Cole, and he was kind of down a wee bit on the grass. It was so funny. They said they mentioned that, and they actually asked Arteta post match, was this something you planned with your set piece guru? And Arteta's answer was definitely, of course we did. We know Chelsea don't come out. We know they all stay in the box, and so they did plan it. It was great.
Well, if my 17-year-old son can see it, then well, I didn't notice it, so I might have to get him to do my post-match analysis in the future.
Viva, you have the privilege of speaking about the pass by Odegaard. You have this honour bestowed upon you. Tell me about this goal and how you feel. There was, I'm not going to say what it was, but there was a tweet I put in from Red Action Arsenal. I don't know if you guys seen it in the Grove, and Wales responded with, "That's a bit weird." But I don't know if you guys seen that or not. That's how I felt after seeing that Odegaard pass. Take it away.
That was the perfect pass, and it started with Gabriel nearly losing the ball to Madueke again, recovered, passed it to Odegaard. Odegaard, 2 touches, perfect ball to Havertz, who seemed like a different man running through. Great goal, great composure. I was so happy for him, his celebration, but that pass was just perfection. And I felt like it needed to happen, especially after Havertz missed the previous incredible pass that Odegaard sent through. So it was just all around. I'm a massive fan when it comes to assists, and that was just absolute perfection for me. Absolute perfection. He's a fantastic player. We are so lucky to have him.
30 million. Oh, that's just such a. It's so great. 35 million, whatever. To get Real Madrid must be thinking, what are we doing? But yeah, we are so lucky to have him. What I liked about that goal of course, the pass was the goal, but the fact that how strong Odegaard, it was like Havertz had like a little kid and was holding his forehead on Cucurella. Just go away, just leave me alone. I'm just about to score a lovely goal here. Just just like keeping him at arm's length, and it was so strong, sort of like charging through the midfield, like a gazelle, and just like again, more disdain for the hirsute Cucurella. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was a reason why he was dropped at the start of the season, and he's only just started playing again. But he is really, really poor at playing football. Really, really, really poor. And I'm just so glad we've ended up with Ben White. I remember Cucurella was linked with Arsenal. I'm just so glad we've got Ben White, and we didn't sign him. Havertz then made it 4-0, and this is probably my favourite goal of the bunch. And the reason why is because it seems like the whole team were involved, but it all came from Thomas Partey, and who it was Saka, wasn't it? They got the assist. So Partey passed it out to Saka, who just kind of quick feet did a kind of step over, and the Chelsea players just looked like they stopped and gave up because they knew what was coming. But what I love about it was Havertz's finish. 9 times out of 10, players would go either with loft and try to get it into one of the top corners and probably get it at keeper's height when they're diving, or they would hit it on the opposite direction of where Havertz did. He knew that Petrovic was heading towards his right, so he thought, right, I need to shoot to his left. And as you can see in the replay, Petrovic was rooted to the spot. He never moved at all. And that's why it's my favourite goal, because Saka knew that he had to step over to get that space to pass to Havertz through Cucurella again. We mentioned his name so many times. And then Havertz, in that split-second moment, you're under so much pressure as it is. You're about to have a shot on goal, and you just think for that split second, I'm going to have it in the other corner where the keeper's not going. It was just a great finish. And the fact that it went posting in, and the fact that you tried to then
got to love a ball hitting the post and going in. Love it.
And then he tried to run off and celebrate, and he was swarmed by the fans, and then the players, towards the fans, and then he was getting smacked in the head. It was just perfect. I was smiling at my TV, just thinking that, it was unbelievable. It was just my favourite goal. It was
just to add, Mose, I think what I also loved about that is you could see Havertz's confidence. He took three touches, 2 touches, and then a goal. Right, that was just showing that this guy is now confident, taking a shot, and we're in a good place having someone like him confident. So I think it's also just good to note that.
No, and especially after the first half, I think there was two things that happened in the first half. One, when he passed when he should have shot, and the other one when he shot when he should have passed. So I mean, the fact that he's in those positions is good. I always like say, unless you're in those positions, you're never going to score anyway. So I'll give credit for that. I think it was just what's a bit of summing up how the first half went, some of the decision making and so on. But to then do what he did in the second half, I mean, his all-round play is always great, but then to say, okay, no, I'm going to make up for potential opportunities where we should have scored, to do what he did off those 2 goals, definitely made up for it, and great for his confidence, and again against his old club, even better.
I think his halftime team talk would have been from Arteta would have been, look, go out there and just play without pressure, just play your natural game. There was a couple of chances in the first half he did have, and I felt like he took an extra touch, and as Kaziva mentioned, in the second half to take his second goal, he just didn't think about it. Couple of touches to set himself, and then had a shot, and it went in. It was brilliant. And then finally, the icing on the cake.
Oh, sorry, I was just I'm going to correct you on the Arteta team talk, because rumor has it he said, "What are you doing? This lot of shit. Come on, why aren't we winning 4-0 already by half time? Get out there, do what you're meant to do." Jesus.
Well,
I've heard that.
The rumours were that Arteta was playing part of the pod when we were doing our predictions. He was like, come on, I said 4-1. What are you playing at? And then David Raya responded, I can't give away my clean sheet. So he said, okay, just add 4 + 1 and make it 5.
Right. There we go. Bring it back to Mez. Right, go on.
Ben White obliged. Ben White obliged brilliantly.
What a goal.
What a screamer. That, in my opinion, should be winning the Pushkas Award for the best goal of the year.
Absolutely. It's fantastic.
Everyone fooled. Everyone fooled.
He was asked at the post-match. It's annoying because BT Sport cut to the fans of this guy dancing with his missus and whatnot, which is nice to see. But
it's all over X, Twitter.
I wanted to see Ben White's face when he was asked by Jules Breach, "Did you mean that?" And he was like, "Oh, I'll let everyone else decide." But you can see from the celebration, his face, he's like, he does that motion to Declan Rice to say, "I was trying to cross it into you." But you know what? Peter Drury made the perfect statement from this goal. He said, "Arsenal are so good, they're now scoring by mistake." That
is great.
It just epitomises the goal that Ben White scored. We were so good last night that, scoring by mistake even is a thing. So it was brilliant. And I think by then the Emirates was just laughing, and that's when the Olays started coming in. We had 20 minutes of fun, didn't we?
Yeah.
I really wish I was there.
That was one of those nights where it would have been great to be there from a different perspective. I think we've all been there for those amazing nights with the tension and we get an amazing win, but just have fun. And I realized it was so nice just to sit there for 25 minutes and just enjoy and just relax and laugh. And okay, we didn't get any goals, but who cares? You could just like, oh, this was so nice. So yeah, it was one of those nights.
I'm so glad the Grove exists, right? Can we have a 1 minute interlude?
Yeah.
I'm just so happy the Grove exists, because could you imagine the scenes when Reece Nelson against Bournemouth last season, if the Grove were around and all that kind of thing. It was just, I'm just so happy that there's other people that all feel the same way and who hate Chelsea the same like you, Tab. It's
just to share this with. It's great.
But what's mind blowing for me is I'm getting really, I don't know why I'm getting like emotional. I'm not going to cry. Don't worry.
It's okay to cry. Your feelings are valid.
So
okay.
I don't know whether to get you a tissue because you're getting emotional because of this or because of Odegaard. So I don't know.
No, I genuinely fucking love him. I love Martin Odegaard. I DM Martin Odegaard just to like, well done, and like just random. Anyway, I just want to give a massive shout out to the Grove, because how else could you sort every single person out for tickets to games, right? Like the Grove, we'll look out for each other, and it's just so good that we can meet up before and after the game, and there's just 70 odd guys and girls who are friends about Arsenal. It's just so nice to see, and everyone just had such a good time yesterday, and it was just so good to see. And shout out to the people who are watching on TV with me as well. There was only a few of us, but shout out to them because they had to deal with my constant barrage of messages just for everything that was going on in the game. And
all part of the family. They're on there. It's great.
Yeah.
And in terms of sort out tickets, we help each other on the tickets.
Just
all above board.
It is all above board. Yeah.
So,
and that sounds like it's not above board, but it is above board.
Just in case. But no, you're right. It's great. It's I was a bit irritated with my son after the game because I wanted to talk about the game, and we're walking back to the station, and he had his head in his phone, Snapchatting with someone. I don't know. I was like, I need to, and I was running out of battery, so I couldn't really talk on the phone. So it's so nice to be able to just share here or on the group or in person, just this, because I think this is why we're all here, because beforehand we maybe didn't have this, and now all of a sudden we've got this great community of people, either within and without, So it is, kudos to everyone involved.
Let's talk about individual players now. So obviously the subs were made. But I don't really think there's much to say about the subs. It was subs that we had to make. Thank you though for taking Saka off.
Thank you.
Just so happy for taking Saka off. It was almost 10 minutes too late though. I mean, we're 5-0 up. Just take him off. What is the point? Come on. Bring him off. Just rest him, protect him now until Sunday. But in terms of individual players, and then we'll talk about stats, and then I've also got a couple of questions for you guys before we move on to the North London Derby preview. As you wrote there, Tabs, Odegaard, I think I'm in love. And I'll say it once, and I'll say it again. I'll sing it from the rooftop. I hope my wife's not listening. She is pretty in the room next door, so she's pretty. But I don't think she would even care. I mean, she's seen me tweeting and Instagram DMing Odegaard and Saka and Rice and everyone, and Timber even, and even Timber's agent I've been messaging as well, and he replied.
What are you like?
It's I never get a reply. But just very quickly, I know we're digressing so much. I'm talking about random bollock, but it's not as embarrassing as Fraser, right? So
okay, here we go.
We all love Fraser. But Fraser was down in London once and he had booked a tour of the Emirates Stadium. And it was around a time 2 seasons ago when Arteta tried to spur the players on. It was on a bad run of form and we trained on the pitch. Do you guys remember that? We trained on the Emirates the day before. And Fraser was down for the game and then he went for the tour, but his tour was cancelled because of Arteta training on the pitch with the players. So he Instagram DM'd Arteta an essay saying, "Hi, Mikel," first name terms, by the way. I was down for the tour and it got cancelled, blah, blah, blah. And just asking for 2 free tickets for the game the following day. I think it was against Leicester. Because I want 2 free tickets, please, for the game, if that's possible, because my tour got cancelled and I was really gutted. I really wanted to see the stadium. So it can't be as embarrassing as that.
Oh, dear.
Apparently Arteta read the message and never replied. So,
yeah. You mean his people read the message and never replied?
Yeah. But honestly, someone said it in the Grove yesterday, we should have been paying Real Madrid 10 times the price we paid for Martin Odegaard. And I don't know if you guys have managed to watch the BT Sport coverage, but even after the game, they were talking about him saying that he is just, and Arteta was even saying, and it's the first time I've really heard Arteta speak about a player in the club currently in this way. He was just saying, look, whatever Martin Odegaard does, everyone looks, listens and watches and copies, and that's why he's a perfect epitome of what a captain should be. He doesn't have any off-the-field antics. He's not ever in trouble with the police for speeding or drink driving. He's not going out and doing what Anthony does or whatever, or anything like that.
Allegedly,
sorry. And he just seems to be one of those people that every single Arsenal fan, if you ask them, no one will have a dislike for Martin Odegaard, right?
Yeah.
What a captain. Everyone thought at the start of the season, we all thought it. Declan Rice is coming in and Declan Rice will take the captain's armband. But no, Martin Odegaard is just unreal. I need a moment.
No, it's the consistency. Week in, week out, it's the same. 100%. You know, his touch, his skill, his ability, his energy, his drive. He's just so good, and we're so lucky to have him. You know, it's not very often you have these players that come to your club and just just encompass everything you want, and we've got to enjoy it while we can, like everything in football. It's transient, it's temporary, so let's just enjoy it while we can.
Absolutely. I mean, he's the model player, and I've said this in the last 2 times I've been on this pod, and I think I say this like once a month. I'm a massive Football Manager fan. I haven't played in about 2 years, but I played for a good 10 years from 2008. And just knowing that we have one of the superstar wonder kids of, yesteryear as our captain, and he's actually fulfilling his potential, and easily could become an elite player. I mean, you could argue he's an elite player right now. It's incredible. Like our club has that, right? And man, we are really so lucky to have a player like that. And besides his skill, it's the way he carries himself. Can't wait for him lifting that trophy. I think it's gonna mean the most for him than everyone else in that team.
No,
I genuinely think the moment Martin Odegaard lifts a trophy, that's not the Community Shield, by the way.
You're going to explode, aren't you? It's gonna just...
I will spontaneously combust.
Yeah, and that's okay, honestly.
I'm so happy you support me spontaneously combusting. Thank you so much.
But, I mean, following up closely, though, behind him, and another guy that we all love, and saw it yesterday, Benjamin White, sorry, again, you can't but not love him. Just again, the way he plays, everything he gives. He scored yesterday. He's a good attacking threat. He's defending, but just his shithousery. He's got that shithousery about him that Odegaard doesn't have, which just makes him a bit funnier, a bit more of a character. But again, I can't imagine a more popular goal yesterday than Ben White scoring within the team, within the stadium. even the fact that he's like dumping Cucuraccia off the ball, and gets a yellow card for it. Who cares? Good fun, So again, another one that you just kind of, and just another way that carries yourself, and just even the way you carry yourself around the England nonsense. It's fine. I want to play for Arsenal. They're my family. You're no good for me. Why should I bother, wasting my time with you? And the way he's dealt with that. So everything about Ben White is another one that how he's evolved. We brought him in. I don't know what we brought him in as a centre back, and now he's the best right back in the country in inverted commas. And the way, you can't not love football without having the fitness that he's got and the skill that he's got and the ability. I think he's great.
Can I just say one very quick thing? Everton have a penalty against Liverpool, by the way, just to let you know. We're recording this podcast. While the Everton-Liverpool game is going on, and Everton have a penalty against Liverpool. I've got a couple of questions for you guys, if you don't mind.
Go.
So I'm going to ask each of you one of the questions in the interest of time. We could talk for hours and hours about the game, and apologies if you can hear my laptop. I will turn that back on, do not disturb. I'm just so excited. The first question comes from Charles, and this is for you, Kaziva. So Charles says, I read a stat that we have our highest ever goal difference in the Premier League era, which is outstanding, by the way. Bearing this in mind, if we didn't sign a striker this summer, how would you feel? And for the record, I hope this doesn't happen. Isak, please. So Kaziva, how would you feel? Striker.
So you know what? Until Arteta spoke about, maybe we should buy a striker, a 20, 30 goal scoring striker, I would have felt that we don't need one. Because I've been one of those guys even last season, who's been saying we scored the same amount of goals as the Invincibles without a striker. This season, we've now broken our record without that top striker. So I'm still kind of on the fence, but I do feel like a striker coming in to give us that added dimension could help. But yeah, I wouldn't be sad otherwise. I wouldn't. I think in the attacking area, it'd be better to have someone to support Saka. But as a striker, Kai is doing a good job, and I know people might not agree, but look at the goals he's scoring, guys. He's scoring goals for fun. So yeah, that's where I stand on that point.
It's an interesting point. I just think that a striker elevates us closer to the level of what Man City are. And I think Man City are still just a couple of levels above where we are at the moment. And I think a striker brings us to that level, because I mentioned this on the last episode, when our players who are scoring 50 goals in 2024 aren't scoring goals, that's when your striker comes in and still scores the goals that you need. That's my point. Apologies for getting everyone excited, by the way. Everton didn't have a penalty. It was given as offside. I'm sorry, I just seen that on my TV. Tabs, I've got the question for you come in from Senzi. If you don't mind, if I can ask this. So she says, question for you guys. We have 4 games remaining. How nervous / excited are you guys feeling? I feel excited, yet really nervous, especially knowing City and Liverpool could potentially win their set of games, but I have hope. So what are your overriding feelings, Tabs? The reason why I gave you this question is because you're the man of reason that everyone wants to listen to, so let us know.
Mr. Positive. I'm feeling chilled, because I still think the most likely outcome is that City win. So the main objective for me for post Villa was that we didn't fall, and post Villa, post Bayern, that we didn't go out with a whimper, that we didn't put the effort in, and so that victory against Wolves, the way we did it, and last night, and I think we sort of, we're not going to end that way, and so I'm sort of relatively chilled. Again, if it comes to Everton, last game of the season, maybe I'm trying to suppress some of the hope. So we'll see. For me, and now I'm focusing. It's one game at a time. Focus on Tottenham. We've got to beat Tottenham. That's the biggest game of the season. Like, every game now is the biggest game of the season. Now, if City do drop points, come and talk to me then, because they're not going to be a little bit excited. They're not going to, depending on what we do, and then all the machinations come out and said, oh well, if we do that, So at the moment, I'm relatively chilled. I'm not putting all my eggs in the we must win basket. I'm happy we're challenging. We've got a chance. Let's not go out with a whimper. and that's where I am.
I just have a funny feeling that we need to win our 2 away games against Spurs and United. I just have a funny feeling if we do that, then something good will happen. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know anything more extra than you guys do, but I just have that feeling. The same when I make a prediction for the pod, and it's usually right? Okay, so
the reason I'm not massively hopeful for like Brighton away or Fulham away is that they're both there on the beach already. It's a bit like, if you go ahead against them, what are they going to fight for? So unless they just relaxed and play and they have some free win, I'd rather they be playing someone with a team that needs something, that wants something. So that's why the Tottenham game, unfortunately, we may have to rely on Tottenham midweek, last week of the season, because they will still be fighting for fourth. And so we've got to rely that, that's the one game that all of a sudden. So we need to be. You're right. We need to win our games and be there ready to pounce if they do drop points. What will be frustrating. And actually, I really hope Liverpool then don't suddenly come through, because that would even be worse. I don't mind City winning because they paid for it and they are City. If we lose out to Liverpool, I might get angry.
When he's angry. Let's move on to part 2. But before, Normie needs to get his flowers for the stats. He says, this was our biggest ever win against Chelsea. We have now won by 5+ goals in 7 different games this season, our most ever in a single campaign. Our current goal difference of 56 is our highest ever total in the Premier League era. And Tabs has also added some stats to this. This is our most wins in the Premier League. Is that ever, Tabs, or are we tied on the most wins?
I think it's ever. I don't know. I didn't check it too thoroughly, okay. And it's got a goal difference of plus 58. I think.
I beg your pardon. What did I say?
Oh no, it might be 56. I might have typed 56.
So
my bad.
Yeah, it's 56. Yeah. I think we are. We're 12 ahead of Liverpool, or 12 ahead of City. Sorry, I should say. Yeah. The other stats just is David Raya obviously pretty much has a golden glove because I think he's done it first or something, and Jordan
Pickford has to keep a clean sheet in the next 5 games.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah. And also, the other great stat was most goals scored and least goals conceded, which is just testament. Yeah. And look, if we don't win the league after doing all of that, then it just shows you how much on steroids Man City are, right?
Absolutely. Look, I maintain we are the better footballing team. We may not have got the better results, but we are the better footballing team. We are the most attractive team to watch. I think we put it out there, especially this year. Yeah. It just, the margins are so slim, and that's why it comes to my thoughts about how I'm feeling about the next 4 games, nervousness, and last night's helped me chill. So, but we'll see come 2:00 on Sunday. Might be like a cat on a hot tin roof. And on that, what are you looking forward to, Moz, for Sunday? And what you're not looking forward to?
When you say the word Sunday, my tummy does butterflies and weird fluttery things, and it's not because I'm thinking about Martin Odegaard, it's because I'm thinking about how nervous I am. I'm looking forward to going to Spurs with our tails up and the energy behind the team and getting a really big result. I honestly feel, I'm not just saying this, but I honestly feel that we can go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and get a result that's going to get the rest of the league and the rest of the footballing world to think, right, okay, this Arsenal team means serious business. If it's not this season, certainly they are one to watch for next season going forward. I think it's going to be one of those games. What I'm not looking forward to is Spurs being Spursy. They will find a way to make life hell for us. I'm not looking forward to the referee. I think we've got Michael Oliver. Something is going to happen. I just hope we have enough goals in the chest before that thing happens. That's how I feel. Kaziva, what are you looking forward to, not looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the coach not changing his ways. The team playing a high line, Martinelli trying to beat that high line passes from Jorginho, because I feel like Jorginho will start. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And then what I'm not looking forward to is, I'm sure what everyone's not looking forward to, is the fact that it is a derby, and the cliche, form goes out the window. We all know this. So anything can happen, honestly. But we are a better side. And I do expect us, if it doesn't go as per the Derby script, I expect us to embarrass them. But yeah, that's how I feel. How about you, Tabs?
I'm looking forward to our main objectives of the year, which is St. Totteringham's Day. So, if we beat them, then I think it's St. Totteringham's Day again, so we can celebrate that. It's like a trophy. I think Wenger once said, getting St. Totteringham's Day. In terms of what I'm not looking forward to, Tottenham would love it if they put a spanner in our Premiership title.
Oh yeah,
works and the just I'm normally when we lose I will turn off the TV literally as soon as the final whistle goes and stuff like that. But I'm just not looking forward to any crowing and the look on their faces and the pleasure that they will take from scuppering our chances. Now, I don't know players have extra motivation around that, but the fans will, and that stadium will be noisier than ever. It's different to like last year when it was, I don't know, February time, January time, whenever it was. They always have it, but the fact it's happening this time of year, how close it is, the opportunity we have, the fans are going to have that extra incentive to want to just rub our faces in it. And so we have to win. We can't even a draw. To a certain extent, I might take a draw. I don't know yet.
No,
depending on how results. Depending on how results go.
No,
but no. We need a fuck it. Yeah, we need a win.
We need a win, man.
We need a win. We need a win.
We're not.
No, it's the Villa game that scuppered that, because according to our predictions, if we beaten Villa, we could have got a draw from this game and still be on track to be winning the league.
The thing that I'm kind of thinking in terms of Sunday is Spurs are still in with a chance of finishing the top four. They have 2 games in hand on Villa, which is even more bizarre why they never played in the last 2 weeks. They could have rearranged some of the games and played, I don't know, it just seems weird. They haven't played 14 days. But I just think they're still in, so they're not on the beach, right? So that's a double-edged sword for us, because they'll be up for it against us, and they always are up for it against us, but they'll be even more up for it against us. But then also, conversely, they could also be up for it against Man City. If we beat them, they'll have even more need to win against Man City. So you just never know. And look, Spurs are Spurs. They could lose 10-0 one week and then win 1-0 the next week, and no one would take any notice of that. So yeah,
they're a bit like Chelsea. They score goals, but they concede goals. Mate. They're the way they're set up. They're high line, and so we need to exploit that. And that's why it'll be interesting what sort of team do we put out, because there's the thing: do we put Nelly or Trossard? Martinelli with his pace and
with highlight,
get by, and their high line. It's a match made in heaven, like Moz and Odegaard, and so can we exploit that? However, it's hard to pull Trossard out of the team. I've seen this before, but I was thinking this already. He's like our Lundberg from the 01-02 season when Lundberg was there partnering up. You had Bergkamp feeding Lundberg, and he was getting goals. That ran into at the end of the season in 01-02. And he was just there. He wasn't particularly fast, wasn't particularly skillful, but just had a knack for being the right place, right time, and finishing. So do you take Trossard out of the team? So do you play the players in form, or do you play the game ahead of you? And that's a tough decision. But then it's nice to have those options off the bench. My sense is that he'll go Trossard. Nelly, you could see yesterday, still not quite there. Still something not quite right with him. I think he goes with Trossard, and then we have the option from the bench, and then Nelly will have his moment for sure.
I think he goes with the same team, but brings Jorginho in as opposed to Thomas Partey. I think it's exactly the same team, but Jorginho in for Partey.
Why would that be? Because you don't think Partey can play 2 games? Or do you think he offered, or basically we're too exposed? Because one thing about having Partey there's less cover in front of the defence, because Rice is on the left and he's quite attacking. Partey's there, so we don't have that person sitting in front. Whereas if Jorginho plays, either Jorginho or Rice sit in front of the back.
Exactly.
Partey's
great. Yeah.
On you go, because you.
Partey's great. honestly, last 2 seasons, he's been close to Rodri, even better than Rodri at sometimes. But I do feel like he doesn't give us that control that Arteta's obsessed with, especially this season. When it comes to transitional progression, Partey is king. But when it comes to actually controlling the game in the midfield, we do lack when he's playing. Well, it was with Jorginho and Rice, you're playing a double pivot with two effectively defensive players. So I can see Jorginho starting too. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Partey started. Like if we're really going for it, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I assume Tommy at left back if his ankle's in one piece.
Yeah, I think so. I think Spurs, Thomas, for me, it's Thomas Partey on the bench this time round because two reasons. I don't think he can play 2 games in a row in quick succession at the moment. I think that'll be one factor, but also we need more control. I'm worried about Brennan Johnson, Son, and just running around Partey, and Partey just doesn't have the pace for it. Whereas Jorginho,
but neither Jorginho. No, it's all about positioning.
Jorginho seems to be better positioning. Why?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's the positioning. It's not the pacing. And I think Partey is brilliant at progressing. He's much better at progressing the ball than a lot of our team. You know, he either his runs or passing and the way he does it. But yes, you're right. I think he leaves us a bit more exposed defensively. So I think for an away game as well. Yeah, I think he does go with Jorginho. Put it like this: if he goes with Partey, I won't be upset, unless we lose him because he scored 2 own goals. But yeah, otherwise than that, I'll be happy. But then also the other thing, also Tottenham, I think they're missing their 2 first choice fullbacks. I think Porro and Udogie. What's his name?
Udogie and Porro are missing. Richarlison's out. As well, which is quite good.
Oh no, and Alfie Whitman's not playing. Oh dear.
Oh my God, you're so lucky.
Alfie Whitman, he is just unbelievable. Honestly, whilst you were talking, I was on the football app and I had to look at who Alfie Whitman was. Goalie.
Is he the kit man?
He's a goalie. He wears the number 41 shirt, so he's just a Declan Rice wannabe. And he is valued at £473,000 and has always only ever played for Spurs. He went on loan to, I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but he went on loan to a team called Degerfors in Sweden the last 2 seasons, and he faced 122 shots, and out of those 122 shots, he conceded 40 goals, which is
1 in 3.
So,
wow. Okay. Yeah. Put him in the sticks.
So he should,
Yeah, really, really, really shit. So,
sorry, just to go back to this Partey Jorginho story, and I'm just playing devil's advocate now. So, one of the great things about Partey playing as the 6 and Rice moving up is that Rice then can do what he does best, but in the attacking third, which is ball recovery, right? So one of the chances we had in the last game was Rice stealing the ball from one of their players and then passing to Odegaard, and then you got the chance. So if we want to play a game where we're pressing them, Rice could be that guy in the attacking third. So that's another option. But again, I'm all about control in an away game against Spurs.
I mean, Partey was part of the team that we won 2-0 comfortably. It's an odd one. We won comfortably, but Ramsdale was man of the match. So, he made important saves. But, yeah, so, and Partey, that would have been just the most glorious of goals. That one that hit the most sweetest of first-time strike. It was like, that I'm sure that crossbar is still rattling now that was hit so hard. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the Spuds come off that 14-15 day break. Will they be refreshed? Will they be rusty? A bit of both. It's interesting. I mean, in a way, I quite like our position because we're game after game. We got a momentum. We've built up momentum with the last 2 victories. So it'll be interesting to see how they come off that. Normally, you start. I'd suggest it takes you a bit of time to get into the rhythm of the game when you've been off that long, but. Yeah, I mean, they've been sitting on the beach for 15 days. Don't know, hopefully they didn't go to Dubai and they went to Skegness instead.
Apart from when we beat them in January last year when the 2-0, obviously that when the game you're talking about at Tottenham Stadium, we haven't beaten them away for quite some time in the league. The last time comes back in 2014 when Thomas Rosicky scored in the second minute.
Oh, yes.
Back then.
Love that goal.
That was when he did that kind of rock star celebration, wasn't it?
Yeah.
His trademark. So,
but that's because they've always had Kane in the penalty. They don't have Kane in the penalty. Well, whatever. They don't have Harry Kane, and I think that's a big part of that.
Yeah. So,
it's a good point.
I'm quietly confident. And look, it's been an hour and 15 minutes, so let's just go straight to predictions and then wrap it up. So, Kazira has the kind of guest, if you like, on the board. You can go first with your prediction, please. Make sure you get it right, because look, I'm just saying, Jamie has lost Stern and Henry a lot of money. You need to make it right, and you need to get the right prediction here.
All right. I think we're gonna win 2-0. I'm hopeful for a 2-0 win.
Okay. Oh, Everton have just scored a legit goal. I'm sorry, Dabs, to break the news.
That's
right
it.
before the...
That's fine. That's much better than listening to me.
It could potentially be given as offside because an Everton player has run in and tapped it in when the ball was going in anyway. And
what are you fucking doing?
I think he was in an offside position, but it's been given to Jared Branthwaite, who's in my fantasy team, so that's brilliant. He looks offside, but then the ball comes back out. Trent Alexander-Arnold misses the header completely, and then it's just a shot in the box. It pinballs around, and then it ends up at Branthwaite, who just puts the ball in the back of the net. And
but was it going in anyway?
It was going in anyway, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin, what are you doing trying to then score again and take that goal away from him? It's just...
Oh, you absolute arse.
Poor. But I think the goal was given anyway. It was over the line, so well done.
Oh, so Everton for that.
We're going to win.
Take us on a roller coaster. Why did you take us on a roller coaster? I thought it wasn't given.
Sorry. Hang on. Sorry, guys. You know, our favourite thing in the Premier League, VAR, they're drawing the lines, and this looks extremely tight. My prediction, whilst they draw the lines, because you know how long VAR takes.
I haven't said my prediction yet.
Sorry. I beg you.
I wrote it down. I don't think we're going to get the record 7th clean sheet goal.
Onside. The goal stands.
All right. We're going to win 2-1.
Okay.
Very typical Arsenal Tottenham score. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. It would be nice. I mean, we're amazing away from home. It would be 7 on the trot. I just can't see Tottenham not scoring against us at their stadium, but I think we've got enough to beat them.
I am going for a 3-0 victory. I think.
Jesus. Don't everybody keep your money in your pocket. I was just spoken.
Put your house on it.
Put your house on it, guys. Don't listen to Tabs.
Yeah.
I
think he talks about, if you've got a monopoly, go and get that house and put it on it because
put your house on it and you'll end up with a bond from Arsenal Football Club. Guys, this has been a lot of fun to record. I just record on Sunday night for a release on Monday. We are doing the exact same. We're happy. We're not all arguing about, now Man City versus Liverpool for the league. Thank you so much for joining us, Kaziva, Tabs. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot, guys, before you go. I must update you on the Babak 602 situation.
Oh, I'm dying to go to the toilet.
One second. So, Babak 602.
Come on, hurry up. Babak 602. What's up?
I suspected he was from Scotland. He replied back,
okay.
Hi there, gang. I promise I am from sunny Southern California. All I was trying to do was to defend Saka, saying that no player is able to cross a corner beyond the first defender 100% of the time. So my challenge to him was, do you accept the challenge of 10 balls in the box and we'll get it on each other's head? He refused the challenge, so Babak 602 has been banished from the pod. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you later, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Oh, that was fun.